And basically we're making a box, and I'm going to say, actually, this is an example. This is the actual Z car right here, but I'm just going to use round or round measurements so you guys can see what we've got. So the base shape that we're building. So please make sure you stop what you're doing and watch this illustration up here. So the base thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to create a box that is, the standard size of my, for my package, right? So I can click down and I can make one that is, let's just say it's 6 inches by 3 inches. So 6 inches wide by 3 inches high. So that's going to give us this shape right here. And the key is, what we're going to do is we're going to be building off of that. And again, if you guys need to move to see it a little better, that's fine. In fact, I'm going to turn off the one of the overhead lights so you can see it a little better. And just like any box, we've got to have 4 sides, right? So I'm going to copy and paste and set them up. And now technically I could have my top, my front, bottom, and back, right? And that would give me those 4 panels. And I'm going to go ahead and label them. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and do it this way. There's no, excuse me, I'm going to make this my bottom. And as we're going around the box, if this is going to be the bottom, then the next thing, if we're going from the bottom, we got to go up. And so I'm going to make this the back of my box. And of course, if we're going up, the next thing would be, what would the next thing? Would the next thing be the front or the top? Right. So this would be the top. Maintain consistency. And then this is going to be the front. However, if it's going to be the front, I have to flip it around, right? Because it has to be oriented this way. Oh, let's see. 180. It has to be oriented that way because if you can imagine it folding down, it would have to be oriented upside down. So now the thing is, we have to have our flaps on the side, and we know that our box is 3 inches, right? So we're going to make it 3 inches wide, because if these dimensions are all 3 inches, 3 inches, 3 inches, then essentially the side is going to be a square, right? So it's going to be 3 by 3. And I'm going to have it so that if I'm holding the box facing me, I'm going to have it so that the flaps open towards the back, right? Or should I have it so the flaps open towards the front? Normally, you would actually want to make them open towards the front. I'm sorry, hinged on the front and open towards the back, because it would give you more solid, more rigid, solid front. So I'm going to move this over. And before I copy and paste it to put it on the other side, I can't just have this. I can't just have a square. I have to have the little flap thing, right? I have to have the thing that tucks in, or else it would just be floating. There'd be no way to close it. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste this out here. And I'm going to place it here. And then I'm going to make my flap, my closing flap, probably maybe 1/2 inch or something like that. So let's go down to 1/2 inch. And I might want to go a little further, but 1/2 inch will probably be fine. Now, the other thing is, as you know, when you're putting the tabs into the package, you kind of need to have, it has to be angled. Otherwise, this will bend up and it'll be a problem. So I'm going to use my direct selection tool, and I'm going to move this anchor point. And while holding down the shift key, because the shift key constrains it in one direction, basically, I'm going to kind of move it down about 1/4 of an inch. And you can see it says 0.25. I'm going to do the same thing here, move it up about 1/4 of an inch. Now, technically speaking, when you do a flap, because these are what we call pressure points or stress points, like here and here. So technically, what you would do is you would move your flap in, and you'll see this when we get into more advanced packaging. You'd actually, your flap would be more like this. And then there would be another area, something like that. And then these two shapes would be together. And I'm going to do that with my Pathfinder and just punch them together. So technically speaking, that's pretty much what my flap would look like. Now here, I don't have to make this little indent. I could, but I don't have to the way that I'm setting this up. So now that that's done, these are the actual closing flaps. So I'm going to copy and paste it. I'm going to rotate it this way. And then I'm going to move it over here. Now I know that I'm going off the page. In fact, I should go to my window artboard. I'm just going to make my artboard bigger. Wait, cancel. Let me get my artboard. Make it, I don't know, 17 inches wide. Bigger than the paper that we have, but I don't want to, I started this kind of too large, but I want to make sure we still have it. So now that's done, those flaps are done. The other thing that's going to be missing is I need the glue tab that is going to secure the bottom to the front, right? Now, a lot of the times when you see this, people will actually put the front like not at the end, like right here. They'll nest the front somewhere in the middle, but for this, still going to give you the same thing. So now I need to make my glue tab. So I'm going to copy and paste this and bring it down here. And I'm probably going to go up a little more than 1/2 inch. So I'll make it, because this is where a lot of my structural strength is going to come from. And I'm going to grab this, bring it in about 1/4 of an inch or so. Bring this in about 1/4 of an inch. And now this would be glued, and this would glue. If you can imagine, I'll go ahead and grab it just to kind of show you. It would eventually glue. It would be like right here on the inside. Like if you saw that, it would secure that. And so that would keep the box from like falling apart. Now, the only other thing that we've got to do are the flaps that are going to be on the inside that keep your stuff from like rolling out. And we're going to do that. We're going to put flaps on the top and bottom, not on the back side, because the back side is where it's going to tuck into. So I'm going to grab this, I'm going to copy and paste, bring it over here. Well, actually, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and put in a numeric value. So it's going to be 3 inches, but I'm not going to make it 3 by 3 because this is an interior flap. So I'm going to make it like 2.75. And actually, I'm going to have to back up on that 3 as well. But I'm going to have my flap be just about like this, and it's going to be shorter. And I'm going to go ahead and grab my direct selection tool, and I'm going to move this, holding down my shift key, kind of like that. Maybe move it kind of like that. Now you'll see that I'm not right on the edge there. I could probably, and probably should, come a little closer, but I don't want to be right on that line. So, and we're just eyeballing it right now. There's different kind of things we're going to look at, but I just want you to get the concept. So I'm going to copy and paste it, and I'm going to rotate. Well, actually, I'm not going to rotate this one. I'm going to flip it, reflect it. I'm going to reflect it 180. That didn't work. Preview. Oh, I see why. And now I'm going to rotate it. And I can move this over here. And it's lined up. And I can grab both of these, copy, paste, and I'm actually going to rotate them around this way. And I'm going to put them like that. Okay, so basically what this is going to give me, it's going to give me flaps that are going to hold in my car on both sides, and it's going to give me the end covers to close it, to be able to close it. So that should work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to group this. I'm going to copy, make a new document that is 11 by 17. I'm going to paste it. And I'm going to go ahead and print it. Oops, continue. I can see where it's set up and I can print it.